Thank you, Lyria. And I would like to take a couple of minutes to introduce you to this particular Sabbath, which, as Lyria said, is called Sawhain. So do that, and then we will actually begin our ceremony. So this morning we're celebrating the changing of the seasons, the crisp air and the red and gold leaves, the harvest that leads to the fallow time of winter when the seeds lie under the snow, quietly awaiting their time to spring forth. Samhain is Gaelic for summer's end, and it officially begins at sundown on October 31st. In the Wiccan tradition, this is the beginning of the new year. So as much of the natural world dies or settles into hibernation and the world gets darker and colder, there is a window between the old and the new, between death and rebirth. It's said that this is the time when the veil between the worlds is at its thinnest. So it's a time when we can more easily connect with the unseen. So we begin the year by going inward into a deep and profound silence, where we can contemplate who we have been, who we are now, and who we want to become. We can allow the parts of ourselves which no longer serve us to transform. We can look for ways in which we are protected, guided, and healed by the sacred mysteries of our own life and by the community of seen and unseen energies. We can let the wind and the rain take our seeds of our deepest longing to new ground. They can be nurtured through a winter of contemplation and inner growth until it's time for the shoots of our new ideas, our new selves, to poke their heads through the ground. So some of the traditions that come from Samhain that have been carried over include leaving milk and cakes outside the door on Samhain Eve, lanterns carved out of pumpkins and turnips. This was a night on which home fires, and remember, no electricity, so fires were really important. The home fires were extinguished, and large bonfires were lit, and then, as befitting a new year, the people would take fire from the bonfire and bring it to their home to relight their home fire. And so while that was going on, there were candles lit, and candles were also put in the window to help escort the spirits of the dead to the outskirts of town at the end of the celebration of Samhain. And there's a tradition of going door to door asking for donations and money for the Samhain feast. So you can see kind of where some of the Halloween traditions come from. All right, so let's see. So, and with the rise of Christianity, then Samhain became Hallowmas, or All Saints' Day, and the night before became known as the day before, the night before, Halloween, which is where we get that name. So there are lots of ways to do these kinds of ceremonies, Wiccan ceremonies that we're going to do one of today. Some things that are usually part of it are having a priest or a priestess, calling in the energies of the directions, the north, south, east, and west. Usually there is some kind of meditation involved, often some kind of drumming, singing, dancing. We're going to do all of those, so I think we're going to enjoy ourselves today. Very often we are invoking a god or a goddess. In this case, I'm going to be invoking the goddess in her aspect as crone, and she's the wise woman, seer, healer, midwife. She's the one that understands compassion and understands those cycles that we were just hearing about of life, death, and rebirth. Some of her names include Baba Yaga, Sirwidwin, Hecate, Kali, Lilith, and Spider Woman from many different traditions. So a little bit about why I'm up here doing this. I've been doing this for almost 40 years now. And the ceremonies like this have been about seeking sacred space where I can find out more about myself and know myself more deeply, and learn about how I fit in with the earth and the natural cycles and the rhythms of the moon and the stars, and really feel how I'm connected with what, as Native Americans call, all forms of all things. That there's nothing with which I am not connected. And these ceremonies, which are often small and personal and created by the people who are holding the ceremony, help me really feel a personal connection to this large and somewhat confusing world, is what I wrote. So let me tell you about the ceremony, and then we're just going to jump right in. We're going to start out, and several people have, who I thank greatly, are helping with this, both with the music part and with the calling in of directions. So we are going to call in the elements of the natural world from the different directions. And as we do that, I'll ask you to stand for that part. It will not be a very long part. Stand as you are able, so it is fine to sit if that's what your preference would be. We will turn to face each direction. So, and south is this way, so we'll start facing south, and then we'll go west, north, east, and then back into your regular positions for the center. After that, there will be a song, and the song which will invite you to connect with the unseen world. And this is an opportunity for you to, as we first drum and rattle and do what is called raising power. So we'll start, and you all, if you don't have a rhythm instrument and you want one, please, there are more over there. Go get one. There's still some drums over there. We will start slowly, and then we'll build the energy and the speed of the drumming and go faster and faster. And there will, when we're at our fastest, you will hear the loud drum beat to stop, and we'll just stop drumming and immediately go into meditation. It will be a silent meditation. And this is a chance for you to allow whatever energies might want to come to you to come in. And that can happen in all kinds of ways. So it could happen by just feeling a tingling. It could happen by feeling a warmth. You might be somebody who sees visions or hears voices. You could be, or you can also call in if there's some energy you would like to call in the energy of a loved one who has passed over. A pet, or you can just allow energies to come. We are creating sacred space here, so only energies that are healing to us are allowed in. After the silence, we'll have another song, and then we'll have an opportunity to have a little celebration and kind of invoke the spirit of Halloween, and then we'll bring the ceremony to a close. So, let us start with, if the people who are going to call in elements can take their places.